All right, you guys. So today I'm going to be talking about transfer of learning. Um, Transfer of learning. And what can I say about transfer of learning? Um, the best way I can describe it is practice makes perfect. Essentially, if you do something over and over and over and over again, your brain is going to just transfer that automatically. So the best example that I can think of is tying your shoes. Um, so tying your shoes, once you first learn it, you really have to think about it. As a child, you know that you have to make one loop and then another loop and then go underneath the hole and then pull. You really have to think about every single step. As you're older, you just do it. You've done it so many times in your life that your brain, you don't have to tell your brain what to do. Your brain just does it. You don't have to tell yourself what to do. And it's just part of your everyday routine, and it's part of your life that you just know how to do it. Another example I can think about is crossing the street. Once you are little, you are told you have to pay so much attention, look both ways, listen for traffic, look for the signals. You have to really think about crossing the street. As an adult, you just do it. It's just something that your brain automatically looks both ways. Your brain is always listening for traffic, but you're not telling it to do it. It's just happening. And we have tools to help us with this transfer. Sometimes they're for physical, and other times they're for mental. One thing, carpenters use tools all the time in order to increase their capabilities and to aid them with that kind of stuff with their carpentry. And then there's also reading and writing is another tool that almost everybody uses. And if you don't have it, you're really guarded and there's really a lot of barriers for you. You can't move on because you can't read an instruction manual. You can't move on because you can't write what you're thinking. So reading and writing are two other tools that are very important. And I'm going to talk about three general types of transfer of learning: traditional, constructivism, and metacognition, and tools as a transfer vehicle. The first one is traditional. And traditional basically says that it's the process of using the knowledge that you have, that you already know, and using it for new environments and new problems that are presented in front of you in order to complete the problem or to solve the problem or to complete a new task. And with that, there is a theory of near and far transfer of learning theory. Now, this theory says that some problems are so similar that you can use that previous knowledge and transfer it into a new problem. And one thing could be, again, tying shoes. Not all shoes are the same, but tying a shoe for any kind of shoe that's in front of you is kind of the same situation. So you can learn how to tie one shoe, and because of that, you can learn how to tie a different shoe just because you can use that previous knowledge. Now, there's also far transfer, and you can say, oh, well, let's have an apron. I can tie my shoe the exact same way. I can tie my apron the exact same way that I can tie my shoe. But then you realize, you know what? Even though there is two laces, it's not quite the same thing. So you have to adapt, and you can't really use that. You can use the previous knowledge, but you have to adapt it in order for it to make that change. Then we're going to talk about constructivism and metacognition. Now, constructivism is using your previous experiences in order to learn something. The way you experience things, the way you feel things are teaching you something new. And metacognition says that it's just thinking about one's thinking. How does someone learn? What is someone thinking about when they're learning? It's just things of all the ways. I'm going to move a little bit forward. All of the ways that you can approach a problem, and there's going to be three different things coming up right now. A little bit less, a little bit less. Knowledge, just understanding what they know, surveying, questioning, thinking, and thinking strategies. Again, it's just the way someone thinks, the way someone approaches a problem, and using all the knowledge that you have. Now we're going to talk about tools as a transfer vehicle. Amplification level and beyond amplification. So sometimes tools help you do something that you already know how to do, For example, a painter can use a paintbrush, but then they're presented with like a spray gun. And that's going to help them go beyond their capabilities. They're going to still paint the wall, but they're going to be able to do it better. And there's some that even without tools, you wouldn't be able to reach that. For example, running, you can go really, really fast, but you're never going to go as fast as if you're given the tool of a bicycle. With a bicycle, you're definitely go a lot faster, and you're going to beat any runner just because of that tool. So it's going to help you go beyond what you can do with your own capabilities. And now we're going to talk about the last theory, low road and high road transfer of learning. So low road essentially says that there's some things that you can easily learn based on your previous knowledge. For example, using a pickup truck. You've learned how to drive in a regular vehicle, so a pickup truck is not going to be as hard to do just because you can use the similar stuff that you've learned before from driving a regular car. And if you ever have to use a moving truck, pickup truck, you're going to be able to transfer that learning into that. And then we have high road, and sometimes you kind of use knowledge from a different thing, from a different subject, from a different problem, and you put it to a different one. And one way it could be using your chess abilities to politics. Sometimes the way you use a chessboard, the way you attack it, can help you attack a campaign or a politic issue. So yeah, that's what transfer of learning is.